much for providing that info about before Callbox or BC.
Yeah,
So
totally. Yeah.
let's talk about the process of getting into Callbox and meeting with me, Chelsey, your consultant. So in
Yeah,
your first
yeah.
month of using Callbox, what did you uncover about your processes, or your first month meeting with me, or your like the introduction of Callbox? So like, yeah, what did you uncover? Like, oh my goodness, this is what's happening in our
Yeah,
process.
there was a lot of oh my goodness, for sure. It was like it was totally a game changer for us. And actually like I have to be honest, we got into callback. So I believe we've been with you guys about 2 years. And um the first year we kind of took the DIY approach, and it was just like me and the data and trying to like trudge through it all. And that was a really eye-opening experience. And I was able to do a lot on the DIY lane because of the all of the features that you guys have. But then about a year in, then we realized we were totally underutilizing you, our consultant, and we
Mhm.
really like pulled that into us about a year in. So I'll kind of talk about like both of those stages separately because I think they both had a lot of value. But the first little bit of me just hacking at myself, then what one of the things that was just like incredibly helpful is that the like I said, the tagging system is just fantastic. And being able to actually, like for us, we were trying to figure out why are we turning people away? What is it about these people that we're trying to bring in that we're dropping the ball and not getting them in? And so if you're somebody trying to solve that problem and you have to listen to hundreds and hundreds of hours of calls and like you could spend forever, and I think this is why you just don't do it. And there was a lot of effort that had to go into like figuring out our exact problems, but it helped so much to reduce that down to these specific calls and these specific kinds of patterns that we were seeing. And that was a lot easier to do when we had the tags and we could say exactly like listen to these 17 calls. And it became, and that's what I did. I listened to a lot of calls, and it was really terrifying in a lot of ways. We found so many things, like just to give you like a kind of a taste of some of the problems that we had. And I think like to before I do that, like to add to that, I think one of the things that we really find is that callbox doesn't run your business. You still have to run your business, but
Mhm.
I think callbox gives you insight into where you should focus as somebody running a business. And so a lot of the things that we found actually kind of, I think they even go outside of maybe even customer service silver bullets. Like there was like fundamental things that we just needed to clean up as a business. And one of those was that we had a lot of people calling and trying to price shop things. And it turned out that we just didn't have a good way of handling that conversation. And so every receptionist was just kind of doing their own thing. And they had this idea that it was better to quote high and come in low. And so because they never wanted to disappoint somebody, but then that resulted in I don't know, I cannot tell you how many calls I listened to of them throwing out numbers that we've never charged someone in our whole lives. And these people just feel like it was turning people away because they thought, oh my goodness, I'm never going to come in the door if this is how you guys charge. And that was just a really eye-opening thing. And so we worked a lot on simplifying our pricing structure, helping get a script for people about how to quote a spay and a neuter, how to quote this kind of thing so that it allowed people to see a little bit more into what we actually do. So there's a lot of stuff like that. We found that there was huge amounts of people that were calling and we didn't have same day, next day availability. And so we needed to figure out a way to preserve some of that and get them in, like just lots of things. There's probably, I don't know, 14, 15 like really like glaring things that came just out of that first month of just seeing into and realizing like if we could attack these few little things and turn that, it would just have a huge impact on our business.
Great. Yeah, thank you so much for that insight. Next question is, how did Chelsey, so when you did the DIY, I know that was eye-opening, but
Yeah.
when I became your consultant, how did I help you identify specific needs and tailor
Mhm.
solutions to address those specific needs?
Yeah, so I definitely think that the first year of us just like DIYing it, then that was us kind of cleaning up the business side of things and using the phones to see into that. I think when we pulled you in, then it really helped us to clean up our customer service side of things, which is certainly a lane that you guys are a lot more equipped to handle. And um, I think like some of the things that you helped us to tackle and to see were the connection between um, high phone times and low connection rates. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious like when you see it now, but we were spending a lot more time on the phone than we probably should be. And then that kind of just trickles down the line. And you helped us a lot to look into, I think by the time we got to you, we had cleaned up a lot of things and we were doing a lot of things well, but there was still opportunities that we were blind to how to lower those. Like we didn't know how to lower that further than we had, and we didn't know how to increase the connection rate more than we already had. And you helped us a lot with cleaning up that side of things.
Perfect. So, how would you describe the level of communication and responsiveness from Chelsey during the consulting process as a whole?
Oh, awesome. Yeah, we've really loved working with Chelsey. That's been a fun time with Callbox. And yeah, Chelsea's been awesome. She's helped us to we've decided that as an executive team on this that we'll meet once a month, and we're more in like a maintenance phase, which is really exciting that we get
Mhm.
to kind of just keep looking at these things, seeing if we talk about where we've been, where we're going. And Chelsea's been really responsive to the specific targets that we are tracking. So there's like tons and tons of different things that you can look at, but to have somebody who's really got our back on the things that matter the most to us, she's been awesome and creates like specific content for us, goes and if we have a specific question, then she goes and tracks it down for us and brings it back to our meetings. And yeah, super awesome.
Great. Would you say that goals set with me and the progress that's been made towards achieving them, would you say that you're pretty much where you at goal wise, or do you have a little bit more to go? How's that looking with your goals?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you're always looking to keep pushing things forward. And but I certainly think that we've come a long way. I specifically I remember one of our first meetings with you when you first identified that we had a rather long average call time. And I think we had a lot of you had further identified why, and that was specifically due to hold times, and those were things that we just hadn't recognized. And I'm pretty sure that we were able to cut that average call time almost in half over the year that we've worked with you, and that's huge for us. That's an amazing goal. I think that we are still trying to get that sub 3 minutes, and
Mhm.
we are floating around the 4 minute mark, I think sometimes. So that's probably one of the goals that we're still looking for, but we've certainly come a long way.
Great. What impressed you most about Callbox, and what feature do you find the most helpful out of all the features and everything that we have? What is like really stand out to you?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think like the most impressive thing is probably close to what I've said before, but I think that you have so much flexibility when with this product. Like it really is amazing how you can get those the zoom out and the zoom in at the same time. And that is the most impressive thing I think about it, that you've managed to succeed in both areas. But I think the feature that I appreciate the most is the call search and how fine-tuned that can get,
Mhm.
and how it can help you from somebody sitting in my role to look at a segment of calls and to really like zone in on that. But it also can be used even totally differently by our managers use this frequently to go and um, re-listen to a call that a client's referring to, and we need to figure out what actually happened on this call. And that's like a totally different usage of it. But that find a call feature is fantastic and really gives you the ability to get specific raw data out of things. That is really helpful. We use it for training as well, helping people to understand like different ways that they could handle a conversation in conversations that didn't go so great and conversations that went really well. I love
Great.
that feature a lot.
Yeah, I'm glad you do. It's my favorite feature as well.
Uh,
So last
I love
question about the actual process of going into Callbox and using Callbox. What would you say to someone who is teetering on the edge of getting Callbox and they just need that little push? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I mean, like I think from our experience that what your phones are the start of the process.
Mhm.
And if you don't know what's going on there, then you really have if you have problems there, and I think like that's the thing is that probably you do. Probably you have problems there that you don't even know about, or opportunities that you don't know about. And any investment that you make at the beginning just has huge ripple effects down the end. And so if you're going to put an investment into something, time or money or anything, attention, cleaning up processes, the best place to invest is at the beginning because that's where it pays you dividends throughout the end. And I think we've worked with a lot of partners in a lot of areas, and this was one of the best investments that we made, was to start at the beginning. And so I think that it's a great thing, and the amount of attention and time that you put into it is up to you. But I think that it has opportunity to really change your business for the better and to make things better for everybody's client, staff, the whole thing.